Hey everyone, Jessica Edwards in Wilmington, North Carolina. I want to talk about this whole buzz right now in the media about the stopping or the halt that some of the nation's largest banks have put on foreclosures due to investigating what the foreclosure process actually is to make sure they're doing it properly and correctly and justly and all that. Included in that is Bank of America, the largest, who has stopped the foreclosure process in all 50 states. There was a segment this morning on the Today Show, which you all know I love, but there was a segment on there about this whole thing going on with foreclosures. And of course, you know, it's all about what is this going to do to the housing market? How is this going to affect the housing market? Oh no, you know, this is going to be another negative blow for the housing market. And they had a buyer on there that's under contract on a foreclosure property, and she was talking about now she doesn't know when she's going to close. Her closing is going to be held up because of this, yada, yada, yada. Well, you know, duh, I guess. And it doesn't really have to do with necessarily this new halt on foreclosures. I did a video last week, and it just happened to be random timing, that talked exactly about this. When you are purchasing a foreclosure, the bank controls the transaction. Yes, you know, you have to agree to terms and all that stuff, but the bank, it's on the bank's terms, the bank's timeline. The bank controls the situation much more than the buyer does, and it's not as even as it is in a typical real estate transaction. If you are purchasing a foreclosure, and I just talked about this, like I said last week, you've got to be prepared that you may not close in, you know, in Wilmington, North Carolina, this area, it's typically a 30-day closing process for a real estate transaction. In a foreclosure process, it may take months. Yeah, you may close in 30 days, but it may take a lot longer than that. You have to be prepared for these things that can come up, delays, whatever, by the bank. So it's something that you need to be aware of and be prepared for in any foreclosure situation, regardless of whether or not you're purchasing one of these properties owned by a bank that has had this halt put on them. So something to think about is just any foreclosure is a little bit usually longer and more in-depth transaction, and it is a little bit more controlled by the bank rather evenly by both parties. So you need to be prepared for that delay regardless of whether you're in a foreclosure with one of these banks or not. So I don't think it's going to change these foreclosures really too much as of right now. It depends on what happens in the next month or so with this. So these are my thoughts. If you have any questions or comments or you disagree, please feel free to email me at jessicaedwards@seacoastrealty.com. Thanks so much for listening. Have a wonderful day.